Welcome back, YouTube, to Peterson Auto. Today we're working on a 2011 Ford Flex with the ecoboost. It's like 350 horsepower in stock form and a turbocharged V6 stuffed into like this soccer mom-mobile. God, I hate this car. It has so many blind spots. But it fits a lot of people and it goes pretty quick and handles pretty decent. So here's under the hood of the Flex. You can see the ecoboost badging right there. And what's that on top of the engine? It's a JLT oil separator. Okay, well, here's the thing. These EcoBoost engines are great engines, but their Achilles heel is oil getting into the turbo. And unfortunately, because the EPA and everybody wants emissions and everything, you have to take your vapors out of your valve covers, out of your crankcase, and cycle them back into the engine. So there's a line that runs from under here somewhere over and right into here. Kind of sucks because it's going pre-turbo. So you got two options. You could dump it somewhere else. It's pretty clean in this engine, but you don't really want to do that. Or we're going to install an oil separator. So what this does is this little can part of it catches any oil in the air that's going back in to save your turbo from getting all covered in oil, which usually takes a bunch of stuff on there and blows out bearings eventually. I mean, it's not a make or break ordeal, but it's definitely one of those things you want to keep an eye out and consider down the road. So, you know, since this thing's only got 100-some thousand miles on it, it's like 120 on it, and I plan on running it into the ground. We already took it drag racing there. Check out the Instagram for that. I don't think I had enough usable footage to make a YouTube video of it. But we're going to install an oil separator on here today. So, here we are with the next problem. Passenger side black anodized 2011 to 2020 F-150 5-liter 2.7 and 3.5 EcoBoost. This isn't an F-150. JLT doesn't make a kit for this car. And there's a couple other ones out there, but JLT is the best by far as oil separators go. They are amazing quality parts. They really are top-notch. Use all the OEM Ford style connectors. So they're usually, JLT kits are 99% of the time plug and play. This is the 1% when you use it on something it's not designed for. You have a little bit of work. Not much though. So you got to get the one for the F-150 with the EcoBoost to make it work. 3016 Paul-Bravo is the part number there. That is the passenger side for an EcoBoost F-150. And honestly, the installation here is not going to be hard at all. The only thing, I already looked at it and had it apart, the only thing we're going to have to do is make a little bit of modification to this bracket. It's pretty light. I think it's aluminum. But either way, we can bend it. Worst case scenario, rerouting the finish on it a little bit, and I'm not too worried about that because this is a daily driver. So I'm going to go ahead and get all the parts off, and we're going to pop this engine cover off. To do that, you just take off your oil cap and start lifting up, and it pops right out. So not really a challenge there, so I'm going to get that done quick. Okay, YouTube, we removed the engine cover here. It is held on by 4 little studs. They're there, down here, and somewhere else. I don't know. Either way, they all line up when you put it back on. This hose here is what we're actually dealing with. I've already broken it loose, so we can just pop it off. Very careful getting this out because you don't want to break the part on the intake. But you can see there's that little clip in there. You just, when it's on, lift it up over that little detent and push it over. And then you can twist and pull, and it'll come right off. So this is the hose we're replacing. oil separator is back here. If you look, there's two different ends. Which end went where? Well, the 90 went over here, the 45 went here. You can see there's a 45 there. So we're going to keep that the same because we can. That simple. We're going to keep it the same because we can. Actually, was it the other way around? It was the other way around. Yes. Okay, so the 90 went here. 45 went over here. So here's our 90. Loop it in about the same routing. And then to get it on, push until it clicks. We're going to do the same thing with this one. That's a 45. Push until it clicks. And that's going to fit very nicely in there, up by the radiator and all. Might need to put a little bit of zip tie or something on there, but it's going to actually work out pretty nice. So, okay, how to actually go more like this. As you can see, there's a recess for it running right in here. And the way I had it was interfering with this. So I could rip this insulation out and not care. But again, family vehicle and all, trying to keep it as stock as possible. So we're going to have to route it along there. It's going to come out over here and loop back around to wherever it needs to be. So I'm going to get that in place first. Okay, our engine cover's back in place. The oil cap can go back on. Don't forget that oil cap, and this is going to mount somewhere in here. So I gotta move hoses around just a bit and make sure we're not kinking anything. Looks like if I pop this one off, which hopefully goes a little bit better than the last one I tried to pop off. You know what, let's try to get you a better view. Okay, so here's the one we're gonna pop off. We're gonna try to put it over top of this one. Get just a little extra room to get down there. The Phillips head screwdriver is by far not the ideal tool for this. There we go. Got our clip loose. So these come with the newer style clips, newer style fittings on them, which I'm not as much of a fan of. But they do work the same. It's just more likely to break these clips. I typically like to take them the whole way out. I didn't on the other one because I was trying to get through this. So now if we route this up here and go like that, should be a lot better off to get this down in place. Yes, see? Now we have no kinks in the line. Back up in here, just stuck my head in there. We're doing good. And I could mount this right here somehow. So we'll be working that out very shortly here as far as how it mounts. But would like two fittings, one fitting would be adequate. A little more bend. Set it straight. We're getting a little close to the exhaust with this one, but due to the fans being there, I don't think we'll have a problem. We should be fine. Maybe one more option. Yeah, it's just going to be running into too much stuff. Now, ideally, this could be a little bit shorter. If JLT were to make a kit mounted in such a location, that would be my recommendations. So there we go. If I angle that properly, that'll keep that hose in a good spot. So what we'll need to do now is we have these little clips here. We'll need to put it on, mark it, and drill a hole. And I'm going to use the included bolts to fasten it. I may... yeah, I'm just going to go that way. I think one of them's going to be adequate, honestly. I don't think we need to. Especially because I actually maintain my stuff and all that. If I had a way to weld aluminum, I would shorten this up and change the angle so it came across here. I don't have a way to weld aluminum here right now. So, you know. That being said, one hole will be adequate, so I'm going to go ahead and cut this down, drill a hole in here, drill a hole in this piece, put the clip over it, and then bolt it in. So the cutting this down is going to be off camera probably. And I'll just bring it back and show you what I got. Alright YouTube, I decided to move it down just a little bit, get it away from the exhaust manifold. It still has the room. But there's our hole right there. Here's our bracket that's been cut down. I'm going to line that up and get an idea roughly where our hole needs to be. I'm going to say probably about middle in this bracket here. So, take that and just put some kind of mark on it. Let's see how well it works. So, got a little mark. Put it back in place. Hold it there. Go right there. I'd really like to come out just a wee bit more on that, I think. So I'm going to put a mark down about here. So there, that second mark. That's where we're going to actually drill. Put that there. Our clearances are going to be pretty good all around. Plenty of distance away from the exhaust manifold. Kind of close to the fan controller, but the fan's there, so it shouldn't be too much of an issue. So I'm going to drill up this hole quick, and I'll be back. Alright YouTube, so we're back. Got the hole drilled in the bracket. And we're going to start by putting this clip over the hole. Because today's just not my day. Don't worry though. When all else fails, this kit comes with another one. Putting the clip over there. Tap it so your hole lines up. You want a little bit of gap at the end of this clip here, as you can see. Then we're going to take our bracket, put it in place, and get our bolt roughly where it needs to be. Hand tight. Take your separator. This is going to make checking the oil a little bit more of a pain in the ass, to be honest with you. But we'll tell you when it has a little oil. And it doesn't have any leaks right now, so. Get our 2 screws started. Screwdriver. Tighten them down. This is steel into aluminum. You don't want to go super tight. And they are only Phillips screws. Now if I can get just a little more out of this, or a little less out of this, I might be better off. Okay, I'm liking the little less. So right there is where we're going to actually finally mount it. Shouldn't have really any rub issues. So I'm going to take our ratchet. I'm going to tighten this down. that's sturdy. It's not going anywhere now. So I can take up a little slack of this if I wanted, or move it one way or the other to get that out easier. Angling it back is actually going to probably work a little better for us. We're not getting any kinks in there. Because it angled back like that, we have a nice routing here. So I think that's what we're going to do. Right there. It's in the way of the dipstick a little bit, but shouldn't cause an issue. And now we're not going to have oil going into our turbo. The reason it's so crucial on these is the one side vents pre-turbo, the other side on the back vents post-turbo. So your turbo is going to wear unevenly. You're going to have the front turbo most likely go first. And you'll probably go through 2 front turbos before you need a back turbo if you really look at it that way. But right now, this will take care of it. Every time you do your oil change, unscrew this canister on the bottom. Just a little bit of pain, but again, every time you do your oil changes, all you got to do to it. And that'll have some oil in there. There's a little metal filter in our ordeal up here too, which occasionally may need cleaned out, but in this case it shouldn't. But you just unscrew that, dump your oil out, bring it back down under, and put it back on. Do that once in oil change, you'll protect your turbo. There is an O-ring in there that's sealing. It's going to also lock everything up. So get it, you know, hand tight, not super tight, because you got to put pliers on it if you get it too tight. But yeah, so that's how to, oh, don't forget your little clip. Kind of need those. That's how you're going to install a JLT Performance oil separator on your 2011 Ford Flex EcoBoost engine. With the 3.5 EcoBoost V6 in it. And that thing is just not like me today. There we go. So don't forget your clip, like I said. There you go. And that's going to be how you can install that very effectively. A couple zip ties in there might make things a little better. But I'm not worried about it right now. We're going to see how it goes and see if there's any kind of movement or wear on it. And if there is, I'll zip tie where need be. But the only thing I can see is maybe this hose flapping around some. So, JLT Performance Oil Separator Kit 2011 Ford Flex EcoBoost with the 3.5 EcoBoost turbo engine. How to save your turbos. Like, comment, and subscribe to Peterson Auto. And stay tuned for more kind of weird installation videos, because I kind of like this car. I don't like it, but I like it. It goes fast.